Om Sahanao Avatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Okay, today's our topic is about Jeev and Ishwar. When we say Jeev, we are talking individual soul or Atma. In the seventh chapter of the Bhagavad Gītā, Lord Krishna reveals a powerful secret, Arjun, and to all of us. This chapter is called Gyan Vigyan Yog, which is the path of knowledge and realized wisdom. So here when we say Gyan, we refer to knowledge in English, and when we say Vigyan in Sanskrit, we refer to realized wisdom. It is something like when you are learning, where you are having a subject of, let us say, chemistry or physics or biology, whatever it is, you learn the theory first. That is Gyan. When you go into the lab, do your practicals, which means you have experienced that knowledge, what you learn, that is called Vigyan. Krishna says, Arjun, now I shall tell you everything, not just bookish knowledge, but deep living knowledge. With this, there will remain nothing else for you to know. We usually think knowledge means just studying scriptures or remembering teachings. That is important, yes, because that is the first step. But it is only the beginning. Real knowledge is twofold. And what is the first one? Gyan, which we call intellectual knowledge, learning about the self, the soul, and then God. And what is Vigyan? Experienced knowledge, truly feeling and living this truth every day. Bhagwan Shri Krishna says that very few people in the world seek this truth. And even fewer realize him in full. Why is that? Like as you can see, this statement is very valid. Krishna says that very few people in the world seek this truth. Now, in our Bhagavad Gita sessions, how many people have joined the group, but how many people they attend? And even fewer realize him in full. So it means is this, suppose let us say the population is 1.5 billion of India. I think if I'm right, this is the one. Let us say even 10% or 5% are interested. And out of that, very few people actually realize God in full, because most people are caught up in the outer world. always running up after pleasures, wealth, power, or relationships. But Krishna lovingly reminds us everything you see, earth, water, fire, air, space, mind, intellect, and ego, all of this is my lower nature. Beyond this is my higher nature, the soul within every being. Now, if you concentrate even this sentence, the soul within every being, and that is the higher nature of the Lord. So, when you look at a tree, a river, or a friend, you are actually seeing Krishna's presence, both as the physical form and as the life within. That is Vigyan. So, which means you are experiencing everything in the universe. Now, let me give you a few simple examples here to understand better. Number one, think of fire like a matchbox. You don't always see it, but when you strike a match, it appears. Similarly, God is hidden, but He is always there, waiting for our devotion. When the sun rises, darkness disappears. In the same way, when true knowledge arises in you, all confusion and fear vanish. A mother bird feeds her chicks without them asking. In the same way, God takes care of us even if we do not realize it. Now, let me summarize the main jewels of this chapter for you. Number one, know God fully. He is not far away. He is the source of everything: your mind, your senses, the five elements, your emotions, your very breathe. Number two, see the divine in all. Krishna is the taste in water, the light of the sun and moon, the sound in space, the fragrance of the earth. Wherever you look, you see Him. And the third one, be devoted. Only those who surrender with love and faith can know Him completely. Number four, most people are distracted. Many worship other forms or chase temporary pleasures, but only the wise see beyond the surface and seek the supreme. There are four kinds of devotees. Some pray to remove suffering, some seek wealth, some seek truth, and some love God for no selfish reason at all. Of these, the one who loves without asking anything is dearest to Lord. Number six, everything is God's play. Even those who worship other deities in truth are worshipping Krishna, but they may not realize it. All paths lead to him, just like rivers flow into the ocean. All true worship, if done with sincerity, reaches the divine. And divine is only one. We can give any name we like. Krishna is both near and far. He is in your heart. When your heart is pure, when you live with love, when you seek truth sincerely, he will reveal himself fully to you. Let this chapter be your lamp in the darkness. Now, we will talk about, we will try to understand the relationship between Jeev and Ishwar. When we say Jeev, it means the individual soul. The Jeev is your true inner self, the one who thinks, feels, acts, and experiences life. It is not the body or the mind, but the eternal soul, Atman, which never dies. It is like a spark from a great fire, small and individual, yet made of the same essence. Now, who is Ishwar? The Supreme Being. Ishwar is the Supreme Lord, which is omnipresent, all knowing, and the cause of the entire universe. He governs everything with wisdom and compassion. Just as the sun lights up the whole world, Ishwar gives life and order to all creation. Now we come to the relationship. Although the Jeev and Ishwar appear separate, because we always say, Atma is in me, fine, that is okay, but where is Ishwar? But they are deeply connected. Essence is one. Just like a sun ray comes from the sun or a wave rises from the ocean, the Jeev comes from Ishwar and shares the same divine essence. Now, I gave the example of sun and ocean, and I'm saying the Jeev comes from Ishwar and shares the same divine essence. So, what does it mean? If we take Ishwar as an ocean, so who will be the Jeev? We are like little big waves in the ocean. We take birth, dies, birth, dies. So everything is happening within Ishwar. That's why it is said, Ishwar is pervading all. Yet they seem different because when we see, we are standing at the seaside on the beach, and when we see the waves, we don't say waves is part of this ocean. We say waves are coming and they are dying. They're rising and dying because of ignorance, avidya, and past karma. The jiva feels separate and limited. trapped in the material world like a drop of water in a bubble. But this separation is only temporary. Now, let us see from real life examples. The sun and its rays show that the soul carries divine qualities, but is not the whole. The ocean and waves show that though the soul appears different, it is always part of the divine. In the Bhagavad Gītā, Arjun represents the Jeev and Krishna represents Ishwar. Through Krishna's guidance, Arjun awakens to his true self. Now, point number 5, the path to unity, when we start realizing our unity with the Lord, that is liberation, moksha. The Jeev's purpose is to realize its oneness with Ishwar. This happens when it overcomes ego, ignorance, and material attachment. The Gita shows three main paths. Number one, Jnana Yoga, path of knowledge. Understand the truth of the self. Bhakti Yoga, path of devotion. Surrender to the Lord with love. Then Karma Yoga, path of selfless action. Act without selfish desires. By following these paths, the Jeev, the individual soul, dissolves its illusion of separateness and awakens to its divine nature. In daily life, if you think about spirituality, you are not separate from the divine. You are a part of it. All your struggles come from forgetting this eternal. By turning inward through spiritual practice, you can realize your true self. When this realization happens, fear, anxiety, and confusion disappear, and peace and joy arise naturally. In essence, the Jeev is like a ray of sunlight. Now, see the example of sun and its rays, or a drop of the ocean, or a wave rising on its surface. Always connected, never truly apart from Ishwar. The journey of life is to rediscover this eternal unity. The journey of life is to rediscover. You're already that, but we have forgotten. That's why we are saying here, rediscover this eternal unity. Now, we always used a couple of words here: Brahman, Ishwar, Bhagwan, Jeev, Atman. Let us try to see the difference between them. Brahman, we know very well what is Brahman. the impersonal, formless, infinite, and all pervading reality in Vedant, especially in Advaita Vedant, Advaita philosophy, which means where we are saying the Brahman and Atma, they are same, which means they have got the same properties. It is nirguna, without attributes, beyond name, form, and action. So when we say Brahman, it does not have any form. It is a supreme pure consciousness. Now, who is Ishwar? The personal aspect of Brahman. Because when we say Brahman is formless, but Ishwar with the form that governs, creates, sustains, and dissolves the universe. Ishwar is Sagun, Brahman, Sagun Brahman with attributes, typically equated with God or the Lord in devotional traditions. So that is the difference between Brahman and Ishwar. Now, in the role in creation, Brahman is pure consciousness. It is unchanging and does not act at all. It is the substratum of all existence, but is not a creator in the active sense. Because everything is happening within Brahman. Ishwar is the cosmic intelligence and will that, using Maya illusion, creates and governs the universe. Ishwar appears to act through Maya. And let us say relationship with Maya. When it comes to Brahman, Brahman is unaffected by Maya. It is beyond illusion. And Ishwar is a lord of Maya, uses Maya as an instrument to manifest the universe. Now let us say from Bhagavad Gītā perspective. In the Bhagavad Gītā, both concepts are present, but the focus is more on Ishwar. Krishna identifies himself as Ishwar, the supreme controller, and Bhagwan, the supreme being who is both immanent and transcendent. In chapter 10, which is Vibhuti Yoga, and chapter 11, which is Vishwarupa Darshan, reveal Krishna's personal divine form, Ishwar as Bhagwan. However, Krishna also refers to Brahman as the highest reality. That is in chapter 8, and distinguishes it from the perishable world and individual self. In essence, Brahman is the eternal reality. Ishwar is how that reality appears to the world and acts within it. The Bhagavad Gita emphasizes devotion to Ishwar, especially as Sri Krishna, while also pointing toward the higher knowledge of Brahman as the goal of liberation. Now we will go to the next topic of today. What is the universal problem we have? Now, if you think about the Mahabharata, long ago on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjun, the mighty warrior, stood confused and broken. That is chapter 1. His heart was filled with sorrow, fear, and helplessness. Although he was known for his strength and courage, because he was warrior, but in that moment he was overwhelmed by inner turmoil. He did not know what was right and what was wrong. He was emotionally shattered, unable to perform his duty. This is where the story of the Bhagavad Gita begins, because he forgot what is his swadharma. Now imagine this. If Lord Krishna had simply offered Arjuna a solution only for his personal issue, if he had just said, pick up your bow and fight, because this is your duty as a warrior, then this teaching would have helped only Arjun in that particular moment. It would not have had any deep meaning for us today. The Gita would have remained a story locked in time without any relevance to our lives. But that is not what happened. Lord Krishna, out of immense compassion and wisdom, chose to give Arjun a teaching that reaches far beyond that battlefield. Instead of giving a quick fix, he revealed a deep and timeless wisdom, a solution that applies to every human being, in every generation, in every walk of life. So, which means it Bhagavad Gita is not specific to any religion. He addressed not just Arjun's sorrow, but the root cause of all human sorrow. He revealed the nature of the universal human problem. Each of us, at some point in life, goes through suffering. The form of suffering may differ. It may be grief over the loss of a loved one, anxiety about the future, confusion in making the right decisions, or disappointment in relationships and expectations. The situations may be different, but the feeling inside is the same: pain, restlessness, fear, and sadness. When we share our troubles with friends or family, they often try to help us. They give advice based on their understanding and experience. And while their suggestions may be helpful for that particular problem at that particular time, but such advice is limited. It may not work again in a different situation. Moreover, What worked for you may not work for someone else because each case is different. These are temporary, situation based solutions. But what if there is a fundamental reason behind all human sorrow? What if there is a common cause that lies beneath every individual problem? If we can understand that, and if we receive a solution that addresses this root cause, then that solution becomes universal. It will be relevant to everyone at all times. And this is exactly what Lord Krishna offered to Arjun. He did not merely answer a question, he awakened Arjun to the truth of life. He showed him the deeper cause of suffering, our false identification with the body and mind, our attachment to results, our ignorance of our true nature, and our forgetfulness of the eternal self. These are the seeds of sorrow. Once these are removed, true peace and freedom arise. Therefore, if you wish to truly benefit from the teachings of the Gita, you must begin by recognizing this. Your personal struggles are expressions of a universal human problem. And the teachings of Lord Krishna are not bound by time or situation. They are timeless truths meant to free you just as they freed Arjun. Now we will try to understand what is the universal problem in detail. Today I want to help you understand a very important truth, a truth that can set you free if you truly grasp it. It is the universal problem, the one issue that every human being in this world is constantly facing, whether they realize it or not. This teaching is not meant to create fear or worry in your heart, but to help you awaken to the truth of your inner world and ultimately to find peace. There are 6 simple steps here. Number one, it is like we have a situation. Before we start fixing the situation or a problem, we need to diagnose it first properly. If we are unable to diagnose, you cannot fix the problem. So, step one is, where is the problem located? First, ask yourself, where exactly are your problems? You may think your problems are outside, in people, in situations, or in the world. But I say to you, all your problems exist only in your mind. There is nothing outside. No one is affecting you for anything. It is we ourselves, our mind is a problem. And I use this example many times. In the class, let us say there are 50 students. The teacher walks in after half an hour session, teacher walks out. You give all 50 students in the class a blank paper and ask them to write down what and how teacher was. What did he teach you? Did you understand anything or not? Each student is going to write a different theory about teacher. Why? Because there are 50 different minds. Teacher is same. He was teaching the same thing. That's therefore the world simply exists as it is. It is your interpretation, your perception, your reaction, and your emotional response that creates what you call a problem. Now, let me give you a simple example here. Suppose a person is poor and does not get food to eat. The body will signal hunger. And if this continues for long, the body will eventually die. But tell me, is the real pain in the body or the mind? A goat standing in a butcher shop doesn't worry about its own death, but a human being fears death deeply. Why? Because of the mind. So, what we need to do is we need to understand it clearly. This problem is not in the world, it is in the mind's reaction to the world. Number two, what is the nature of the problem? Now we know the problem lies in the mind. Now let us look at what form it takes. All our problems are experienced through negative emotions. Emotions like anger, anxiety, fear, and frustration, grief, guilt, regret, and sorrow, hatred, bitterness, shame, worry. These are not just feelings, they are the very form of suffering. If you are feeling any of these emotions, you must be suffering. Even if everything outside you seems fine. So, what we can say here, suffering equal negative emotions. All our suffering starts because of our negative emotions. Step three, what is the status of the problem? Now, let me tell you a deeper truth. And we all know these truths, but we are always lost when the problem comes. Whether or not these negative emotions are showing up right now, the potential for suffering is always inside you. It is like a disease that is dormant, not showing symptoms yet, but always there, ready to manifest when triggered at any moment. If something goes against your expectations, you feel rejected, insulted, or ignored, these emotions rise again. So even if you feel peaceful now, That peace is temporary unless you remove the root of the problem. Therefore, the problem is either active, which is in the form of suffering, or dormant, possibility of suffering in the future, but never truly absent. It is always there, either in the form of suffering or in the form of dormant. So, what is step 4? What is the cause of the problem? Although the problem is inside where? In our mind. But the cause appears to be outside. We don't blame our mind at all. We say, this problem is given to me by the a person outside. It might be a person, an event, or a situation. For example, he cheated me. That is the external cause. I hate him. That is the internal problem. The action of another is outside your control, but the emotion it creates, hatred, anger, pain, is within you. It is your mind that suffers, not the outside world. So we must understand this vital truth. The world is the trigger, but the suffering is born inside you. Means that external events or people may stimulate reactions, but the actual pain, anger, or sorrow arises within your own mind. The world merely activates what is already there: your thoughts, emotions, desires, and attachments. And that's why we discussed many times we need to do two things: chitta shuddhi, single pointed mind. That is what we are trying to achieve from Bhagavad Gita. For example, someone insults you is a trigger. From where it is coming? From outside. But your suffering comes from your ego getting hard, expectations being broken, or insecurities being exposed. There was a trigger, but you react on to that trigger. This teaching shifts responsibility from blaming the outside world to understanding and transforming your inner self. So when we understand Bhagavad Gita well, what happens? We stop blaming the outside world, but we try to understand and transforming our inner self. It encourages self awareness, emotional mastery, and spiritual growth. When the mind becomes calm and detached, the same external triggers no longer cause suffering. And I used this example a couple of times to explain this situation. Let's say you're walking in the street. On the other side of the road, the person is screaming at you and abusing you. You do not know the person. So what you do? Do you start feeling what he's saying? No. You simply think he's a madman and you just keep walking. But the same thing, if it is given to you by a person you know him, you start feeling that hurts you. Number five, different causes, one universal problem. Everyone has different problems. That is true. But the form of the problem, which is suffering, is the same for everyone. What makes you angry might not upset someone else, but both of you experience suffering in different ways. So while the causes of suffering differ, the experience of suffering is universal. Now, let me show you how this truth appears in all lives. Number one, everyone feels incomplete. Why do we set goals in life? Because we feel something is missing. A truly fulfilled person has no need for goals. Number two, everyone is chasing happiness. The beggar begs for food, the billionaire builds empires. Both are trying to become happy. Number three, at every stage of life, we have new problems. As a child, we cry for toys. As adults, we chase success. And in old age, we worry about our legacy. Number four, even in happy moments, we carry hidden fears. During a party, one word about an exam or that can spoil your joy. Problems never fully leave. Number five, every joy hides a sorrow. If you enjoy someone's presence, their absence will one day hurt you. Pleasure and pain are two sides of the same coin. So you must realize no human being is free from this constant undercurrent or dissatisfaction unless they awaken the higher. Point number six, why all our solutions fail. Now we come to the most important insight. Since the cause of our problem seems to be outside, we try to change the world around us to remove what we think is causing our pain. But what happens? Today, the child wants a balloon. We buy it. Tomorrow, they cry for a chocolate. Today, we solve one issue at work. Tomorrow, another appears. The world keeps changing. If we keep fighting the cause, we will never be free. So instead of trying to fix every external trigger, let us work on the true problem, the suffering within. Let us learn how to manage and transform the mind itself. So, what is the universal problem here? Number one, the problem is not outside you, but within your own mind. The form of the problem is suffering seen as negative emotions. The cause keeps changing, but the experience is the same. The solution is not in changing the world outside, but in mastering our mind. This is why it is called the universal problem. It affects all people in all places at all times, whether he is rich or poor, young or old, educated or uneducated. Only a few rare souls who understand this truth deeply and live by the wisdom taught in scriptures like the Bhagavad Gītā, they are free from this endless suffering because they have controlled their mind. Let us become one of those rare souls. Let us begin the journey inward. Let us seek not just temporary peace, but eternal freedom. Now, we have talked about this a couple of times before. Temporary solutions versus ultimate solution. Temporary solutions, prayas. Permanent solution, shreyas. You see, most people in the world are trying to fix the wrong thing. They're deeply disturbed by their pain, sorrow, anger, fear, or dissatisfaction. But instead of understanding the true cause of these emotions, they try to change or fix the outer world. They believe that if they can adjust their circumstances, their relationship, finances, job, or health, then all their suffering will disappear. But the truth is, this method never works permanently. And why is that so? Because the actual source of human suffering does not lie outside of us. It lies within our mind. The external world is full of pairs of opposites: joy and sorrow, gain and loss, praise and blame, success and failure. This is the nature of the world, and no one can change it. Trying to find peace by changing the world is like chasing the wind. You may catch it for a moment, but it slips away again. Now, let me give you a simple example here. Suppose a person breaks their arm. What if the doctor only gives them a painkiller or anesthesia? For a while, they may not feel any pain. That is fine, and they may think the problem is solved. But in reality, the bone is still broken. If it is not treated properly with proper diagnosis, realignment, and healing, the pain will return back. And perhaps even worse than in the same way, temporary solutions in life, such as distractions, entertainment, material pleasure, or even anger and blame, may give us some relief for a little while, but they never solve the root cause of our inner suffering, which is our ignorance of who we really are and how to face life's challenges. So, the ultimate solution is what? Healing the root cause. And what is the solution? It is to go deep within and treat the actual cause of our suffering, our false understanding, our wrong expectations, our attachments, and our mistaken belief that happiness lies outside. The ultimate solution requires inner transformation, it requires wisdom. This is the spiritual operation, the healing of the root cause, not just a bandage on the symptoms. It is a shift in how we look at life, how we respond to challenges, and how we understand our own true self. If we see the case of Arjun, when he was filled with sorrow, confusion, and despair on the battlefield, he did not run away to find temporary comfort. He was trying to, he was giving a lot of excuses. He did not argue or resist. He bowed down and said to Lord Krishna, I am confused about my duty and am overcome with weakness. I am your disciple. Please instruct me. I surrender unto you. And after that, Arjun waited patiently. He did not interrupt. And Krishna, the divine teacher, began to speak, not with shallow comfort, but with the highest wisdom that could cure Arjun's sorrow at the root. He did not tell Arjun to run away from the world. He taught him how to live in the world without being broken by it. The final words to reflect on is, remember, temporary solutions are like anesthesia. They numb the pain but never removes the real cause. Ultimate solution is to go deep like surgery and cure the actual problem, which is the ignorance in our mind and the confusion in our heart. Do not settle for quick fixes in life. Be courageous, be honest, look within, learn the eternal truths, face life with the clarity of knowledge and the strength of a pure heart. Only then will you discover a peace that no situation can shake, the peace of the soul that knows how to live in this world but is not controlled by it. I will conclude here. Om Purnamadaha Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om.